Welcome, everyone. This is Dr. Melissa Rich, and you are listening to another episode of the Taking Care of Your Temple podcast. And I am going to tell you a little bit about what this is, how it works, and then we're going to get into our topic for the day. So, the objective of this podcast is I try to help women connect with God on a regular basis and to use His strength, power, grace, might, wisdom, all the things to improve their physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual health. There are 4 principles that I recommend using in order to do that. The first one is to keep our focus on God. Doesn't that sound easy? I mean, that sounds so simple, right? Of course, we're going to keep our focus on God. The problem is there are like a million things during the day that distract us and have us chasing rabbits and going off all over the place. So if you feel like this is a hard thing for you to do, you are perfectly normal. Congratulations. Because it's hard for everybody. We just have to keep pulling ourselves back, and getting ourselves back with our focus on God. The next one is to acknowledge that we are not enough on our own. We are not smart enough, strong enough, rich enough, educated enough, experienced enough, anything in order to do life on our own. And I think for me, and I've talked to other people who have had the same experience, this was a lot harder when I was younger and dumber. With age does come some wisdom, and I have realized I can't do this by myself, and I have no problem asking for God's help. And thankfully, He is always ready to give it when we ask Him for it. The next thing is to remember it is about progress, not perfection. Thankfully, God does not expect us to do things perfectly. Yay! But what we need to be doing is make sure we're moving in the same direction. He does expect us to grow. He talks about not staying babies. We need to be moving on to solid food and doing more things. So as long as we're moving, making progress, then we're doing okay. He doesn't expect us to do everything perfectly because that's not going to happen. The last thing is we need to work on consciously changing our thoughts. The reason for that is that the messages that we give ourselves on a regular basis, they are incredibly important. And the things that we tell ourselves are going to determine how we think, act, feel, who we hang out with. I mean, everything. So, y'all, if you're giving yourselves a lot of toxic, negative messages, you need to change those because you are not going to do very well if that's the case. And that's not how God sees us. We are His precious children. He loves us. He values us. So we need to love and value ourselves. So if that is something that you are doing, that you're giving yourself a lot of negative messages, you need to work on changing them. Okay, the verse for this podcast is 1 Corinthians 3:16. Do you not know that you are God's temple and that God's Spirit dwells in you? And I think a lot of times we don't remember that. We don't value ourselves. We think we're not worth much of anything. God sees us as His temple, and His Spirit is dwelling in us if we're His children. So I think a lot of times we need to be reminded of that. All right, let me say a quick prayer before we get going. Lord, thank you so much for the opportunity to do this podcast. And Lord, I just ask that these words, we're going to be talking about words today, will be helpful, that there are people who really will be blessed by them and we'll be able to make some positive changes. Thank you so much for loving us. Amen. So what I want to talk about today is something called the word of the year, picking for yourself a word for your year. And some of y'all have probably heard of this. Some of you may not have. Some of you probably think it sounds incredibly hokey. I get that. Hang on. I'm going to explain what it is and how it works. When you choose a word of the year for you, it really is helpful. And there's a lot of research, y'all, that backs this up. It helps define how you want to show up and live your life for the year that you're in. It focuses on how you want to feel as well as on the things that you want to do. It kind of serves as a guidepost. It helps you navigate your year and get the results that you want. It kind of acts in a way as a self-fulfilling prophecy. Some of you who are in education have heard about that. Self-fulfilling prophecy. My bachelor's was early childhood education. That was a big thing back then. What they found is that kids who grew up in homes where they got a lot of negative feedback, you are so stupid, you are so clumsy, you'll never amount to anything. Guess how they turned out? Unless there was something to change that for them, they tended to turn out stupid and clumsy, and they didn't amount to much because we take in the messages that are given to us and we start believing them, and our brain starts to make them come true. Now, the opposite, the flip side of that is also true. Kids who grow up with in a positive environment with good feedback, you really did that very well. That was very smart of you to figure that out. That type of thing, they did do better because they absorbed those messages and believed them. So when you have this word of the year, it tends to guide you in a particular direction because you are aware of that word. Your awareness level has been raised. And because you're conscious of it, you tend to behave in ways that help you become whatever that word is. It's like this circular influence. You look at the word and it affects you, and then that helps you move in a certain direction, and you change and you become more of the word, and it just kind of keeps going. So throughout this episode, I'm going to be giving you examples of words that you can use to help shape and navigate your year. I have a bunch of them, so stay tuned. And I do want to point out, I purposely did this episode, timing it so that it would not be the first one of the year. You're not going to hear this on January 1st. Some of you may not be listening to this one till, I don't know, June or August. It is never too late to pick a word of the year. You don't have to start this on January 1st. When I first heard about this, it was like, I've been doing this for 4 or 5 years. But the first time I heard of it, I think it was like in September. And I was at a workshop and I asked the lady, do I need to wait till January 1st to pick one? She said, no, pick one now for the rest of the year. And I did. So don't feel like, oh, I already missed out this year. No, you haven't. Just jump on the bandwagon. All right. So here are some words that would be good. Abundance. That's a great word. And abundance does not necessarily just mean money. Achieve or achievement. Action. Another good one. Appreciate or appreciation. Authentic. There's a good word. Awareness or aware. Balance. I love that one. I've used this one in the past. Bloom, bold, brave. Yeah, all of those are really good. And you can see how if you keep telling yourself that that's your word of the year, it's going to influence how you think and how you feel and what you do. Okay. So a lot of people are familiar with a resolution. Around the first of the year, they pick New Year's resolutions. I did that for a long time. But there are differences between a resolution and a word of the year. The word that you choose aims to inspire your actions and goals in a more complete way than resolutions can do. A lot of people for resolutions will say something like, I want to lose weight. I want to travel more. I want to become a nicer person. Well, what does that really mean? It can be kind of vague, and a guiding word focuses on how you want to feel instead. Also, with resolutions, a recent study showed that 64% of people drop their New Year's resolutions within a month. Not a really good batting average there. A word of the year can be empowering because it allows you to focus on different habits and goals to help put your word into action. When I choose a word for my year, I base my goals, intentions, and actions around that word. Again, it's really a guidepost. My word helps to define things, gives me direction, inspiration, and motivation for that year. I really do. I keep coming back to, and I'll tell you my word of this year for this year in a minute. I keep coming back to, well, this is what I'm doing for this year. And I want to be consistent with that. So a lot of times I will change what I've been doing because, oh yeah, I'm not doing what I said I was going to do. I use my word as a landmark, and I am constantly checking back to see how I'm doing. Is what I'm doing now congruent with the word that I chose for this year, the word that God led me to choose? Because that's one thing. I pray about it before I choose a word. So a word of the year brings focus and clarity to your goals, and it helps us stay motivated to keep moving toward those goals. It becomes a really simple guidance tool. Here's a big advantage for a word of the year. A single word is simple and easy to remember, right? One word. Who can't remember that? It's easy. A lot of times with resolutions, we may have 3 or 4. Again, they're not very specific. And after a while, we forget, wait, was that one of my resolutions? But a word is easier to remember. It provides a clear, very focused theme to guide your actions and decisions throughout the year. It is forward thinking. If you keep checking back with it and making sure that you're doing things that are consistent with it, then you keep moving forward. Okay, some more examples. Change, wow, a good one. Clarity, compassion, that's a great word. Confident or confidence, courage, creative or creativity. I love that one. That's a great word for anybody. Curiosity, delight, wow. Deserving, they don't always have to be one word, because here's one: do it anyway. Dream or dream big. Those are pretty cool. Okay, so some benefits of choosing a word for your year. One is focus and clarity. It provides a really clear focal point for the things that you're trying to do, for your intentions and aspirations. It really helps you kind of streamline your goals and actions, and you can concentrate on what truly matters. Again, it is a lot easier, y'all, to concentrate on one word than try to concentrate on 10 resolutions. Easy. I like easy. It provides guidance in decision making and goal setting. When you are faced with decisions, do I do A or B or C? You can kind of filter your options through the lens of that word of the year. Well, which of these options is more consistent with my word for the year? And so you consider whether each choice is that going to align with the values and intentions represented by your word. I just think it really helps me to be a lot more consistent. I don't chase rabbits as much, and y'all, I chase rabbits with the best of them. So anytime I can eliminate some of that, that is a good thing. And this really does, it just helps me stay more on track. It provides motivation and inspiration. A word of the year acts as motivation. It inspires you to stay committed to your objectives, not objections, sorry. It can serve as a daily reminder of that bigger picture, and it can really help you overcome challenges and setbacks. So last year, I had 3 words. I'll go into that in a little bit. One of my words last year was courage. Okay. God consistently put me in situations where I had to trust him, even when it was scary and when things were overwhelming. And so that's the only way you're going to develop courage, is to face scary things. So although it wasn't all that much fun, it really did help me grow. And then come to personal growth and development. I think that getting a word of the year gives you opportunities for learning and personal growth that are going to resonate with your word of the year. You know how you probably had the experience that you buy a certain brand of car that you never really paid much attention to before. Because you have bought that car, now you are seeing that car everywhere. Your awareness level has been raised. It's not that there are more Hondas or Subaru Outbacks or whatever it is on the road. It's just that now you are more aware of them. That's what a word for the year does. I think it raises your awareness level. So my word for 2024 is proactive. Not one I would have picked by myself. I prayed about it. That's the one that God told me to do. And I'm like, okay. And I've already been using it in several situations, because I tell myself, all right, I'm supposed to be more proactive this year. I need to go do whatever it is. It really does help. I promise you it does. It also can help promote a more positive mindset and attitude. It can help, having a word of the year can help shift your focus towards solutions, possibilities, and opportunities, giving you a more optimistic and positive outlook on life. And I am always in favor of anything that will do that. So for example, if your word is dream, which is a good one, you're going to constantly be looking for and finding opportunities to pursue your dreams or to even enlarge on them. So that's a good one. It also, having a word of the year, can help with adaptability and resilience. Your word for the year can be a source of strength during challenging times. Again, one of mine last year was courage, and it did help me to hang on to God and to keep moving forward. Simplicity. Having a single word simplifies your approach to personal development. It helps you avoid getting overwhelmed because it offers a straightforward way to define and visualize your intentions for the year. If you have one word, like mine is proactive, it is really easy to take that word and look at, okay, am I acting in a proactive manner? One word. It's very easy to help. It's very easy to stay on track and stay focused in that direction because it's just one word. I like things that are simple, y'all. Life is complicated enough. Okay. It also can help you celebrate progress because it's easy to recognize when you are making progress. My word of the year for 2021 was forward. And I was amazed at how much progress I made in several different areas because my awareness was raised. I was really focusing on moving forward. And again, one word, easy to follow. Another thing having a word of the year can do is it can really put an enhanced focus on values. Your word, most of the time, is going to reflect a core value or principle. It helps you stay connected to something that, or to things that truly matter to you. It gives you this sense of authenticity and kind of aligns with your deepest beliefs or values. So you want your word to be positive. You want it to stretch you slightly, but not to the point where it's not authentic for you. So you don't want to select a word that is absolutely impossible, that there's no hope of you ever doing it. That's not helpful. You also don't want negative words. I mean, they may be true, but we're all aware of the negative. You want something that's positive, that moves you forward a little bit so that you can grow some. And it provides a sense of community and connection. A lot of times, if you share your word with other people, it can help you connect with them, and you can have opportunities for mutual support and shared experiences. I found that people really respond to this and tend to be interested in it. And a lot of people I've shared this with, that I do this and here is my word, they end up choosing a word for themselves. So it really does help foster connection. Okay, more examples of possibilities of a word for the year. Enjoy, exceptional, that's a good one. Expand, extraordinary, love that one. Fearless, ooh, what a great word. Now, you pick that one, God is going to put you in some scary situations. I mean, just expect it. Finish, that is a great one if you tend to procrastinate. Fitness, that is a really good word to focus on for a whole year, to really shift your mindset more into health. Flow, focus, forward, as I mentioned. Fun, what a great word for the year. And then future, to help you look forward. Okay, so let's talk about some ways to apply the word of the year in your life. Well, the first one is to incorporate it into daily affirmations. You remind yourself of the positive qualities or mindset associated with the word, and that helps reinforce them in your thoughts and actions. So you may, like my word is proactive, so I am giving myself messages like, I'm not going to ignore this situation because I am acting in a proactive manner this year. I'm going to tackle it. I'm going to get through it. It may not be fun, but I am capable of doing it. So do you see how those messages can help you feel more confident and do things that you need to do that otherwise you might kind of be hesitating over? Journaling and reflection is another good way to apply your word of the year. If you are a journaler, this is something that you can really write about. You can reflect on specific instances where you used your word and where it helped you move forward. And this is really a good idea because most of us tend to have short memories. So if you are keeping track of these things and writing them down, especially if you're doing it over the year when you have your word, and you can look back and say, oh yeah, I forgot that happened. Yeah. And it is very reinforcing. That's right. I did handle that situation pretty well. And it's a confidence builder. It also can help you see how God is helping you, providing for you, watching out for you. We all need to remember that too. Okay, visual reminders. Visual reminders are great. Things like a vision board or I'll say this, desktop wallpaper. I think you can have phone wallpaper as well, maybe, or you can just see it on your phone. You know what I'm talking about. Those constant visual cues serve as powerful reinforcements of your focus for the year. So I put my word and I try to find an accompanying scripture verse on note cards. I'll put them in my bathroom and my office where I see them often. Okay, those of you all who are on YouTube, oh, it's backwards. Okay, that's right. The camera's going to make it backwards, I think, unless it reverses it for you all. So I've got 2024 proactive. I did find a verse for it. 1 Peter 1:13. So then, have your minds ready for action. Keep alert and set your hope completely on the blessing which will be given to you when Jesus Christ is revealed. That's from the Good News Translation. That's a great verse for being proactive, right? So I have my word, I have my verse, I have 2024. And again, I put it on a note card. I put it up in my bathroom. I have it posted here in my office. And every time I walk by it, I see it. And that serves as a reinforcement. You can also use your word for professional development. You can use it to align your career goals and actions. And you can also use that theme, whatever it is that you've picked, to influence your approach to work, leadership, and collaboration. Now, I got some of these online. These are not all necessarily things that I have done, but I think they're good ideas. And this is a really good idea. And you may want to have a separate word for your business or for your job. You can have like a personal word of the year and a professional word of the year, because they may not need to be the same thing. Again, however you want to do it is fine. And if you're a small business owner like I am, although I am the only employee, and you have people who work for you, you may want to use that as a group, kind of a team function, and pick a word, or it can be more than one word, by the way. 2022, I had 2 words. 2023, I had 3. This year, I'm back to 1 again. So it just depends on where God's leading you. But if everybody has it, it can become kind of part of the vision and the mission for the organization. If everybody knows what it is, it's like back in the 50s or 60s, NASA, their objective, they wanted to put a man on the moon by, I forgot the date. I mean, it was very clear. Everybody understood what that meant. Everybody got it, and they did it. So having a word of the year for your organization can also be very empowering, team building, and can help everybody move forward. Okay. It can also help with relationships and communication. You can incorporate your word into your interpersonal relationships and see how you can improve things by using your word. Health and wellness is another good one. You can apply your word to your health, wellness, fitness routines. Think about how it can influence your choices related to diet, exercise, and self-care. It can really help you improve your well-being. So if you want to do something in the health and wellness, you may want something like self-care, movement, healthy, things like that. Habit formation. Use your word to establish positive habits. Whether you're focusing on consistency, resilience, or gratitude, your word can help guide the formation of habits that contribute to your overall well-being. So mine, again, this year is proactive. That is something that I'm really not much of a procrastinator, except in certain areas. And this has already been helping me. Instead of I did this right before I started recording this podcast. I sent an email to someone that I really didn't want to do, but I made myself do it because I'm being proactive this year. I mean, it really does help you it really does help improve your habits. It can also help with time management. You may find that you are allowing yourself more time and energy for activities that support whatever your word is, and that can make you feel purposeful and more fulfilled. If your word is important to you, you need to make time to let it take root in your life, and you will if it's important to you. And then creativity and expression. You can explore how your chosen theme can inspire and shape your artistic endeavors, your hobbies, your passion projects. You can incorporate it for that. So I love mine. Proactive. I mean, if there are things that I've been meaning to do and I'm talking to myself right now, I'm going to be more likely to do them because I'm trying to act in a proactive manner. It can also be, it can help you establish gratitude practices. You can really appreciate how your word is positively impacting your life. And you can regularly express gratitude to God or to other people for the opportunities and experiences that are coming to you because of this word that you've chosen. And this is where journaling would be helpful as well, again, because you'll remember, oh yeah, back in February, I did whatever. And it can help you with celebrations and milestones. You are going to be more aware, excuse me, of positive changes and growth that you've experienced along the way. And I really think this is critical. If you make this experience fun and enjoyable, you're going to keep doing it and you'll get a lot more out of it. And then you get to celebrate more. Okay, some more examples of a word for the year. Go. Can't get much simpler than that. Grace. Wow, that's a good one. Gratitude. I think at one point we should all have that word. Grow. Grounded. Happy or happiness. Love it. Healthy or health. Here's one some of you may not like. Helping, because we should all be doing that more. Hope or hopeful. Imagine. Impactful. Improve. Inspire. Intentional. I thought about it intentional. That was like my second choice instead of proactive, but I really like proactive better for what I wanted to do, but intentional is good too. Okay, so how do you choose a word of the year, especially if you've never done that? People are really unsure how this works. Okay, it's a very personal process. Here are some things that you can do that will help you find one. Think about your past year. And again, if you're halfway through the year, it's fine. Think about the first half of the year or the last year and a half, however you want to do it. Think about your achievements, your challenges, and things that you learned this last year. Then identify what are some areas of personal growth that you want to achieve. Look at where you've been to help you figure out where you want to go. That's basically that one in a nutshell. Define your priorities. What are some things that are priorities for you in this year that you're in? Things such as career, relationships, health, and personal development. What are some things that you want to achieve? Identify your core values. What beliefs are essential to your identity and which ones guide your actions? So for me, since faith is a huge part of my life, I always pick a word with a lot of prayer, and then I try to find a scripture to go with it, and I've already read mine. Because that helps to me, it makes it more congruent, because faith is huge for me. So find a word, find a Bible verse that goes with it, and then I memorize both of those. Then set some intentions. What types of intentions do you have for the coming year? What do you want to achieve or focus on in different areas of your life? Think about how you want to feel. What are the feelings you want to cultivate in the upcoming year? Do you want to feel more confident? Do you want to feel less anxious? What is it? What emotional states are important to you? Then brainstorm some potential words. And y'all, you do not have to do this in 5 minutes. You might take a couple of days. I've done that before. Sometimes it's like, boom, God, I pray for it and God gives me a word. Other times it's a process of over several days where I, can I do this one? I don't like that one. This one's better. And I kind of keep tweaking it. As you're brainstorming, generate a list of words that kind of resonates with your reflections, priorities, values, and intentions. Get broad terms and then get specific terms. Write them down. Don't limit yourself. And I said before, I've had one word, and this year mine was a hyphenated word, and I've in the past had up to 3 words. I wouldn't get like 12 words, that's too many, but 2 or 3, yeah. Especially if it's like a phrase. Mine, I'll share mine here in a little bit, my one from last year. But if it's a phrase that goes together, like do it anyway, that's a good one, and that's easy to remember. Keep it simple. You're going to align with your word and use it more if it's easy. Don't overcomplicate things. Make it meaningful. It needs to be authentic to you and to what you want to achieve. Then, once you've got all that, start narrowing down your list. Identify words that stand out or evoke, that you kind of connect with that word. Eliminate words that feel forced or don't feel quite right. And again, y'all pray over this process first. I think that's probably the biggest step. Check the definitions. Sometimes we think we know what a word means, and we don't necessarily. I'm a big reader, have a pretty good vocabulary, but I don't know what every word means. I came across one today that I looked it up, because that's what I always do, and I was like, oh, this is not at all what I thought it meant. I can't remember the word, I would tell you, but yeah, it was something totally different. So be sure that your word means what you think it means. Okay. Look for inspiration. You may want to read some books, quotes, articles that can help provide you a word. Then kind of try to visualize it and feel what that's like. Close your eyes and try to picture or imagine how would that particular word, how would that manifest itself in your life? What would you be doing with that? Then test the word, say it out loud. How does it make you feel? Does it resonate positively? Does it feel empowering? If not, maybe it's not the best choice. Maybe, if you need to, connect with others. Discuss your potential word with family, friends, or a mentor. And I find that I tend to get a lot of really good guidance by talking to others and running things past them. I don't always do what they say, but I find that having input from people I trust is invaluable. It makes a huge difference. Sleep on it. Take your time. Again, there's no rush. Give yourself time to mull it over, pray about it, listen to your gut, pay attention to your intuition. A lot of times your gut feeling guides you to a word that truly resonates with you, and you may not understand why. I have done that in the past. A particular word just speaks to me, and I'm thinking, why this one? And then as the year goes on, I'm like, oh, yeah, that's why. I needed that word at that particular time. So listen to your intuition. Commit to your word. Once you've chosen a word or a couple of words, embrace it wholeheartedly and let it start influencing your decisions and actions. Now, having said that, sometimes, occasionally, once you get started, you find the word isn't really what you wanted. Don't be afraid to change it. However, don't change it every few weeks either. But if you start on a word and a few weeks down, you're like, this is really what I wanted, get another one. It's not written in stone. Then create a visual representation. This could be a vision board, artwork, or just a graphic that serves as a reminder for you. And again, mine is my little note card. I'm not very artistic. I can't draw. But put those reminders, those visual reminders where you can see them. I probably need to learn to put mine on my phone. I'm sure there's a way to do that. We'll see. And then review it regularly. Periodically review your chosen word throughout the year. See how well your actions and choices align with the word that you chose. Okay, some more possibilities for word of the year. Joy or joyful. Kind or kindness. Less, that's a good one, because a lot of times we tend to gravitate toward more, but sometimes less is better. Limitless, love that one. Love or loving. Mindful or mindfulness. More goes with less. Movement or move. Obedience. This is a great one if you're trying to really improve your relationship with God. Organize. Oh, yeah. I don't have to do that one because, y'all, I am like a very, very organized person. I could have been a professional organizer and really enjoyed that. Open, passion, patience. Y'all be really careful if you are praying for patience, because guess what? God will put you in opportunities that test your patience. Yes, he will. Peace. Wow, that's a good one. Perspective. Okay, so let me give just a few examples of, if you have a word, how would this help you? All right, let's say that you chose focus as your word. Throughout the year, the person who chose this word did it to combat distraction and to improve productivity. So throughout the year, they found that they were better able to concentrate on their goals, which led to achieving things that they wanted to achieve. Courage. Someone decided on courage as their word for the year to overcome fears and to be able to pursue opportunities that came up. And this choice empowered them to take bold steps in their career, which led to new job opportunities and personal growth. Simplify. This one, if someone picked that one, they may declutter a lot of aspects in their life. And this can lead to a more organized and stress-free existence. This one speaks to me since I hate clutter and I just do not function well in it at all. Okay, what else have we got? Resilience. Boy, this is a good one. This can help someone navigate challenges with grace and determination. It can become a real source of strength in tough times. It can foster personal growth and emotional well-being. This is an awesome word. I love resilience. Generosity kind of speaks for itself. People can use this word to cultivate a giving spirit. So during their year, they are practicing various acts of kindness. They're strengthening connections within their community because they really are focusing on giving back. Makes a big difference. Let's see, adventure. This can serve as a catalyst for someone who is seeking excitement and growth. They embrace new experiences. Maybe they travel to unfamiliar places, expand their horizons, leading to a year of personal discovery. I would probably never pick this one. I'm not very adventurous. And I just know if I did this, I would get all these opportunities to go bungee jumping or something that I have no desire to do. But for some of you, this might be a good one. Faith. Oh, that's a good one. This can help a person deepen their spiritual connection. Throughout the year, they find solace and strength in their faith. Their faith, not face, sorry. They're able to navigate uncertainties with a sense of trust and assurance. And this is an amazing word if you're looking to deepen your relationship with God. Kindness. Wow. This is one where they are probably going to be exposed to a lot of opportunities for compassion and generosity. And that's a good one. Mindfulness. This is a good word for anybody seeking peace and presence. Through mindful practices, they're able to really be aware of what's going on in the present moment and focus on that. And that helps reduce stress and just enhances well-being. And then empower. Someone who chooses the word empower can really help take control of their life, and they can pursue their goals with confidence. Throughout the year, they can achieve personal and professional milestones, and they can be empowered by a strong sense of self-belief. Okay, so trying to remember now my words that I was going to share. For last year, okay, it was courage, clarity, and generosity. And I don't remember my verse, but what I do remember was I kind of wrote out this little sentence. When I act with courage, I will receive clarity and I can practice generosity. And it really did work for me. That wasn't all of it. That's just what I remember right now. But God kept giving me those opportunities. So that was really good. All right. Last set of word of the year examples. Perseverance. Wow, such a good one. Positive or positivity. Y'all, if you tend to be a Debbie Downer, this is a good word for you because you need to be aware of more of the positive, good things that are around you. And I promise they are there. Possible or possibility. Proactive, mind. Progress. purposeful, reflect. Isn't that a good word? I love that one. That's such a good one for really mulling things over and seeing where God wants you and what he wants you to do. I love that. Respect, another good one. Self-care. This is a great one for a lot of you who really just, especially as women, you take time for everybody else except for you. And God wants us to take care of ourselves as well. So I think that's a good word. Simplify, excellent word. Special, love that one. Stretch, as in stretching yourself a little bit. I had one of my very first coach, she wasn't held, I guess, personal development coach that I ever had in a group thing. She always said, and her name was Christine Kane. She's in, I think, North Carolina. You want to stretch yourself a little bit so that you have to, be somewhat uncomfortable, but you don't want to stretch yourself so much that you go splat. I always remember that. That's true. You don't want to go that much. Success is a good word. Thinner, thrive, today. That's a great one. Unlimited. Love that. Vision, wellness, winning or winner. That always makes me think of, who was that? Charlie Sheen always said that. Wisdom and worthy. And we all are worthy. So those are some possibilities for a word of the year. And I really encourage you guys, if you have never done this, it's pretty painless. It's not written in stone, but I really think you will be pleasantly surprised. There's actually a lot of research showing that people who choose a word of the year really do better than those who don't. So I encourage you to try that. Okay. Fun fact about Waco, Texas. Actually, this is Central Texas. Where is it? Cirque Italia is coming to, I think it's going to be in Austin on Saturday, January 6th. It will be over by the time y'all hear this. And these are inspired by the element of water. And I grew up on the swim team, so I love water. The acts express versatility and fluidity through human movement, while curtains of water and fountain jets crisscross in time to each move. Sounds so cool. I want to go. Laser lights and bubbles also add to the interdimensional effect. They have two traveling shows, silver unit and gold unit, a stage, this is what caught my eye, that holds 35,000 gallons of water. Is that cool or what? So at Cirque Italia, high energy acts swing from ropes, flip over trapezes, and zip by on BMX bikes and roller skates. I want to go. If you get a chance to go to a Cirque du Soleil act, I encourage you to do it. It's somewhat pricey. It's worth every penny. I went years ago. I was in Las Vegas for a hypnosis conference. And I don't know if it still is there, but they had a show where they were doing all Beatles songs. Yeah, that was like the best. It was so good. I was sitting up literally in the rafters, third row from the very back. I didn't care. And I was by myself because I was there for a conference. So they're doing all these Beatles songs, and I am singing along with the music. I'm sure the people beside me appreciated it, but I didn't care. It was so much fun. It was great. I loved it. Okay. So along with this podcast and Waco Hypnosis Center, I'm available for public speaking. If you would like to have me for an event, you can contact me through my website at www.drmelissarich.com, or you can email me at info@drmelissarich.com. I hope you enjoy this podcast. I hope it was helpful. And really, y'all, if you have not chosen a word of the year, go ahead and do that. Give it a shot. I think that you will find it will make a big difference. All right. Thank you all for coming. I hope that you are back next week, and everyone have a good week. Bye.